I now want to introduce you to another great head teacher, Sally Coates. Sally is the head of a school just down the road from where I live in London called Burlington Danes. I hope by the time that you've heard Sally speak, you'll realise why I'm such a huge admirer of her and what she's achieved for the students in her school. Sally.
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me. In 2005, Burlington Danes was in special measures. It had very low achievement. Barely a third of Year 11s passed 5 good GCSEs. Low aspirations, poor teaching, chaotic systems, and confrontational, intimidating behaviour. Visitors didn't want to cross the playground. Children ran down the corridors in lesson time. Ofsted said even pupils called it a rubbish school. No wonder every year group was undersubscribed. It was hard to get good staff to come. Today, we have a waiting list of 100 for Year 7 alone. The children are well disciplined, expectations are sky high, uniform is worn proudly, and we compare favourably, I believe, with any school in the country. This summer, 75% of Year 11s achieved 5 A stars to C with English and Maths. Also, our very first sixth form cohort, almost all went on to their first choice universities. We have a committed staff, children love the school and are happy and motivated. The transformation has not been easy. It takes time to change a culture or reinvigorate any institution, so I want to tell you what we've done. In 2006, Burlington Danes became an ARC Academy. With that first step, hope returned. ARC brought a real sense of purpose, a can-do mentality, and a determination to achieve change. Failure was not an option. Because we were freed of the national curriculum, we could concentrate on what the children needed. At that time, intensive literacy and numeracy catch-up. ARC appointed me in 2008. I believe there are 3 critical factors in school transformation: leadership, discipline, and classroom practice. First, leadership. Leadership, particularly in inner city schools and in turning around failing schools, must be strong and visible. The head needs to be inspirational from time to time, but it's much more important that they embody the values and ethos of the school on a daily basis and role model them at all times. Instead of firefighting, I encourage the staff to walk calmly and exude positivity. The playground, which used to be a war zone, was filled with table tennis and football tables, and I sold table tennis bats to get to know the children. Secondly, discipline. I set out clear expectations for staff and pupils and challenged anything which did not meet them. You cannot teach if there's chaos in the classroom, and nor can you learn. The school has to be clearly different from the street, and you need visible symbols that it is. The children have to line up every morning, uniform was checked, and the tone of the day was set. I implemented a clear, consistent and fair behaviour policy. Pupils knew the consequence of poor behaviour and what it was. Pupils who got used to being rude, answering back or fighting were clear from day one that that was not acceptable. I had assemblies with every year group to set out my standards. In my first few weeks, I saw over 70 parents with their children to explain these in more detail. Even now, I start each school year by reminding pupils of the rules. Children should be given responsibility as appropriate and rewards only when they earn them. Children should be treated as children. Similarly, if they deserve it, there should be clear and effective sanctions. However, the best form of discipline is self-discipline, when children want to learn. We established a culture of achievement by making clear at all times their grades and levels. Children knew what they were achieving, what their targets were, and how to reach them, and they saw the link between behaviour and achievement. Discussions about poor behaviour always started with the child being asked how they were doing academically. Every year group was publicly ranked by achievement in every subject. Children say this was the turning point for the school. Manners and courtesy matter. They are expected at all times. Our newsletter's weekly commendation section praises honesty, generosity and bravery. Sometimes I wonder if children drop £5 notes themselves just for the joy of handing them in. The final critical factor is the quality of classroom teaching. When we became an academy, much of our funds went into a new building programme. This was greatly needed, but all the great buildings in the world will not produce a great school. Great teachers create a great school. Why should children behave if they are badly taught? Our high aspirations started to attract great teachers. Our curriculum is traditional, rigorous, taught by expert subject practitioners with a passion for their subject. The curriculum includes numerous trips, visits, and competitive sport. These broaden horizons and build character and resilience. Children love challenge and to compete and do well. They love praise, which they have really earned. When I go into classrooms and ask who is working towards A star, they all put their hands up because the teachers have such high expectations of them. So I welcome greater rigour in our exam system. Children in state schools need to compete, not only with the best in the country, but with the rest of the world. The EBAC is an important step to the return of the academic curriculum for all. The Wolf report made good sense on vocational qualifications and their equivalence with GCSE. We must stop patronising the children who most need credible academic qualifications with a dumbed-down curriculum. I welcome the expansion of the Academy programme, but with this freedom should come accountability. Schools need to be monitored and challenged so children can achieve as they should. I am proud of my school. I find it a joy to lead, and I invite any of you who wish to visit and see for yourselves. There are no shortcuts to success. It's hard work and needs a clear sense of purpose and never settling for second best. I believe if it can be done at Burlington Danes, it can be done anywhere. Thank you for listening. Now, I've got great pleasure in introducing one of my sixth formers, Quddus Akinwale. Quddus.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Quddus Akinwale, and I am one of many proud students of Burlington Danes Academy. I grew up in White City, surrounded by a lifestyle that was far from educational, in an estate that looked like it had little hope for the future. And school at that point wasn't all too different. I started Burlington Danes in 2005. Back then, it was chaotic. We had a succession of teachers and a lot of confusion. Most of the teachers were stuck dealing with disruptive classes and bad behavior. The students showed up late, but then so did the staff, and some didn't even show up at all. Most classes were a riot, and no one really saw the point of being there. We all knew it was a poor school, but there wasn't anywhere else to go. My mum, she was really worried. She thought I was wasting all my chances. She said that what we really needed was a good school in the area, but the only good ones were all girls or private schools. When we heard rumors about the school closing down, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know what was going to happen to us, and we didn't have any way of changing things. I didn't know where I was going to end up. But then Burlington Danes became an ARC academy. It took a while, but everything's changed. Uniforms were reinforced, and we became aware of the consequences of behavior, and the lessons were much better. You began to feel you mattered, what you did actually counted. There was this real sense of belonging created in the school. Now it's a great place because the students respect the teachers and the school. People don't step out of line, not because they're afraid of the sanctions, but because we value and respect what we have in the school. The teachers at Burlington Danes are really committed, and school's a better place to be. They encouraged me to aim higher and think about the future. It made a real difference in my life. I was pleased with both my GCSEs and my AS level grades. Almost all this year's upper six went to university. When we started, we didn't even have a sixth form, and frankly, no one ever thought we would. Burlington Danes provides us with amazing opportunities. The school goes out of its way to think up things we'd never dreamed of in Year 7. There are really successful guest speakers on a regular basis, politicians, bankers, people who funded and run businesses, and engineers and scientists. They really make you think about what you want to do with your life. Me, I really wanted to get the grades to go to a top university and study engineering. Knowing this, the school got me work placements at Lend-Lease and Extrata, working with people who are really using their engineering backgrounds. Meeting people there who'd been to Oxford and Cambridge helped me change my perceptions about how I'd fit in and about the kind of people I'd be running into. Burlington Danes are always going that extra step to show you truly how capable you are. As a result, Burlington Danes has helped me achieve that and to believe in myself. And that is how every student should feel. Thank you.